Yo, what's going on, everybody? Happy Saturday. So, as you can see, or here, I guess, still feel a little funky. We're a little bit better, but still a little funky. Today, I want to do something simple and quick, just like the last video. Just this is what we're doing. I have this here K20Z3, I believe. It's out of a 06 to 11 Civic Si. I pulled this motor really only for the transmission. Because at that time I had some ambitions with the other Integra I have sitting in my driveway that I've slowly gave up on. So, sold the transmission, which paid for some S2000 stuff because these transmissions are worth way too much money. And the motor is bad now. What exactly happened, I'm unsure. But when I dropped the oil pan at the yard to inspect it, I seen some not too happy material in there. It didn't look like crank or anything, but if I had to take a guess on what happened, I believe that the timing chain stretched and knocked the cams out of time. I think the pistons made contact with the valves. So what we're going to do today is I'm start stripping this down just to see what happened to it. Now, obviously, the 24 is on the engine stand, so I'm going to have to go old school with this. And by old school, I know you guys don't know, but I built a few motors in my bedroom way back in the day when I was still living with my moms in my teenage years and whatnot. So we do everything on the ground if you do it that way. Start off, I'm going to take the valve cover off, see if I can, inspect the rotating assembly. I'm going to pull the plugs out, just turn it over by hand, see how it's filling. And yeah, hopefully there's still some usable things in here. I mean, I'm hoping that, maybe like the crank is still usable. I doubt the head's going to be usable if it made contact, depending on how bad it was. And I know the cams and maybe just like, I don't know, maybe valve spring and stuff might be usable. We'll see. So what I'm going to do here is let me get you guys set up. And I'm probably going to time-lapse a lot of this. No, I'm a time-lapse taking things apart, but I'm going to stop and show you what I find as we go. Just because, I don't want to sit here pulling bolts out. This video would end up being like an hour long. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do. So, let me get you guys set up. Let me get my tools, and we're going to start working here. All right, so first things first, we're going to start with the valve cover. As you can see, I've already taken some of this stuff off. It's literally all just a bunch of tins. There's a couple brackets and stuff that are attached. I'll just cut the rubber hoses. Obviously, we're not using much of anything off this motor. Pull the dipstick out, toss that in the... Attempt to toss that in the K-Series bin. And let's see what fun we find in here. So, I don't know how many miles this motor had on it. I'm assuming they were relatively high, given that, 06 to 11. That may not seem all that old to us as Honda enthusiasts because most of our cars that we drive are out of the 90s, but you gotta think, if it's a 06, the thing is working its way up to 20 years old now. So, let's see here. I need to cut that line right there. Give me one moment. Nipex cutters, best investment ever. Just straight through stuff. Boop. Like nothing. Like butter. Alright, so I am very familiar with taking K-Series valve covers off, and they enjoy fighting you really badly. So I'm just going to start. Actually, I should get all the bolts out. That might help a lot. I'm just going to start beating on it with my mallet. And eventually it will pop up. Alright, so you hear that noise difference? That means they're starting to come up. There we go. Nice. Boom. Off. It's actually really clean in here. Wow. Oh, let me give you guys a good view of this. This is very, very clean. Look at that. I'm over here assuming it's probably got like 200,000 miles on it. I mean, and it may possibly, but I think whoever had this motor took care of it for the most part. Obviously, like I said, it's got some things going on the bottom, but the chain tension doesn't feel bad by any means. That's odd. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull the spark plugs out. We're going to try to turn it over by hand real quick just to see how it feels, because I'm curious at this point. All right, so all of them are loose. What I'm going to do now to make this a little bit easier, because my spark plug sockets don't have the rubber boot in them, it's going to take coil pack, pull them out one at a time. So let's start with cylinder 1, actually. All right. Cylinder 1 doesn't look bad. I mean, they're old. Got a little hot, but not bad. Some Denzos, which is the next best thing to NGK, if not on the same level. So at least somebody was actually taking decent care of this. In the bin. Cylinder number 2, same. Still looks good. Not bad. Just old. In the bin. Cylinder number 3, same. These are all looking good so far, so that's kind of scary. I was thinking contact with the valve, but yeah, cylinder number 4 still. And then, not to say that it didn't make contact, but most of the time when I see this happen, the spark plug's destroyed too. But that also may be good, because that means that this head may still be usable. If the head's usable, I'm thinking Frankenstein build, baby. All right. Now, I believe the big bolt on the crank is a 19 or a 3/4, depending on which route you want to take. And for the sake of time here, I'm going to run a 3/4 on it, because it's the first thing that popped up. Ooh, ooh, yep, something jumped. So I don't know if you guys caught that, so I'm going to turn this over. Or, well, I was attempting to turn it over. I guess we'll go the other way. Watch it. You'll hear it jump. Almost there. Whoop. You hear that? It does not sound good. Oh, man, that's crunchy. Oh, and we're stuck. Yep, so I would say this motor is definitely bad. 100%. Let's hope that the head survived. And if it didn't, whatever. I mean, none of it's really a big deal to me, because, like I said, I bought this entire swap for the transmission. I paid $600 for everything. So it's all good, but I really would like if the head survived. 100%. So what I'm going to do next is, I guess, I'm going to start taking the timing cover and everything off here, which means I got to get this, I guess, tilted or lifted up so I can get the oil pan bolts off. I didn't think this that far. Well, there's a way. Obviously, we'll figure it out. All right, so I'm going to start with the most difficult bolt here, which is the crank pulley bolt. Sometimes I have really good luck, and they just, zip right off. Other times, I got to get the torch out. So I got the good old Hercules here, that ultra torque, and full battery with the, the 12 amp hour battery, 20 volts. Once again, Hercules is going to have to start sponsoring me. Anyway, let's see if it takes it off. Oh, would you look at that? Thank you. Straight off. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Gotta love Honda crank pulleys. Normally they don't fight you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to this, actually, because I need to see if there's any benefit to running this one over the K24 crank pulley. I know on some B series, like a GSR crank pulley, I think is a slight bit lighter than a case or the LS ones, but I'm not too sure. I have torn down a lot more B series than I have K series, so go ahead and undo this right here. I was looking at this, and I think I might be able to get away with taking this off, because I forgot I didn't put all the oil pan bolts back in. I think there's only like 2 of them holding on, so Okay, get all this nice stuff out the way here. And then we're going to grab a 10 mil and we're going to start zipping. Maybe this will give us some insight to what happened over here. Like I said, I'm fairly certain at jump time. 1, 2. Actually, I don't know why I didn't think about the inspection cover. This might give us something. Shit, if it wants to come off. Okay, anyway, we'll just continue taking bolts off. Let's get this position sensor out. At least I believe that's what this is. I'm not really too sure. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Come on. Okay, well, I'm fighting with that now. What else? Oh. Oh. Yep. I would say that's a broken timing chain guide. I don't know how I didn't notice that originally. Wow. Look at that. Oh well. Why does it smell like this? What the hell? I mean, obviously you guys can't smell through a video, but it smells like Nutty Buddies. Like the chocolate wafer peanut butter snack things. Oh, that's weird. I believe this is this oil pressure sensor or crank position? I don't know. I'd gather this is crank position. Alright, so now I'm going to get something to pry these sensors out. I plan on replacing all sensors, like stuff like that I've taken out, so I'm not really too worried about damaging them. But with that being said, I would like to have some OEM ones around just in case. Because anybody who's familiar with aftermarket stuff, they tend to fail. I'll probably actually just do OEM on both of these for the simple fact of, number one, I don't really know exactly what they do. And number two, since they're obviously on the timing side, they have to be of like major importance of some sort. So why don't you want to come out? That bad boy is stuck in there. What about you? You're not happy, but you're coming out. All right. Sensor seems fine. Pop you over here. My horrible organization skills. I believe I got, nope, I don't. There's always one more. Yep. Okay, so now I believe I got all the timing cover bolts out. Like I said, I don't believe there's any, no, there's not. All right, so I think I feel safe going ahead and I guess I'm going to be nice to it. There we go. Come on. Whatever this, what are you? I can get my big vice grips out. You'll come out one way or another, bucko. Get a hold on it. Oh, yeah. Expected the crank pulley to be the one to fight me, not a precision sensor or whatever the hell it is. Oh, there we go. So, if I'm not mistaken, this looks a little different from the 24. I could be wrong, but it just looks a tad bit different. There we go. This little zip tied fit. Jesus. All right. So, okay, so we're in here, and I'm not seeing anything that's really catching my eye. Obviously, the upper timing chain guide is destroyed, but it's crazy how clean this motor is. I wonder what happened. Man, somebody was real butthurt about this one, I guarantee it. See, it looked like they took care of it, so I don't know. Weird. Alright, well, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the timing chain. So there's just 10s on this guide right here, and then there's two 12s that hold up this upper guide, and then there's a hex or an Allen that holds this side, along with two 10s that hold the tensioner. Real quick, easy process. I'll just zip it all off real quick, and then we'll come back and we'll start, we'll get into taking the head apart. Alright, so I got the cams out. I don't want to make the same mistake I did with the 24, so as you can see, everything is bagged, and I will put that in a safe keeping place. Now, I have to take off the LMA assembly, which is the lost motion assembly, or the rocker assembly. If you've never done this, this can be... Oh, I'm sorry, I'm filming horribly. If you've never done this, it's not hard to do. The most difficult thing about doing this is keeping these rockers all in place. So there's a way you can go about it. You can lift them all up, like so, which is probably how I'm going to end up doing it. And then after that, I'll run some zip ties or something just to hold them all together, like all the way around, to keep it from being stupid. Because otherwise, the roller rockers will pop the pins and springs out, and it's just not a good time. So, yeah, that's what we'll do. Pull that out, and then we'll go about getting the rest of the head off, which... only thing that should be holding on to the motor is obviously the head bolts, and maybe a couple things on the side I got to rip off. But yeah, so I'm gonna get these all positioned up and in place, and I'll come back whenever I'm done with that, and we'll start on doing the head bolts. All right, so lost motion assembly's out. There's also these little guys right here you got to worry about as well. Just be careful when you lift the head up. You should be fine. They can stay in. So, at this point, it's only the head bolts, which I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, they're 12.14 millimeters. So, let's see, I should have one somewhere in here. You know, obviously, I have the best organization in the world. I'm going to find that 14. You're going to need the big impact. That or, you know, some good man torque. Because those aren't, I mean, they're not torqued super high, but after they've been sitting in there for multiple heat cycles and whatnot, they don't like to move. So, yeah. Where is my 14? Where do you be? All right, so I found my 12.14. I have it sitting on one of the bolts right now. Grab my impact with my adapter, and I'm going to run through. We're just going to remove all the bolts real quick. There's a sequence of doing this. I want to say when you're removing, I think you work outside in, and when you're tightening, you work inside out. But I'll be real with you, when it comes to removing it, I never really do it like that. I just kind of work my way around, you know, loosening them all up at, you know, about the same time. I'm not going to pull one all the way out. Just boop, 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 and then I'll start working them all out. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. I'm just going to time lapse this. All right, so I think we should be ready to come up. Here, let me cut that real quick. Cut the rest of this as well. It's not like this harness is any good, nor can I use it. All right, everything is separated. It is loose. Yep, there we go. All right, moment of truth here. Let's see what happened to this. Cash your boat right now. Drop the valve. Jump time. I don't know. Oh my God. Yo, that's brutal. Ain't no way this head survived. No way. What? Nah, I'm tripping. Ain't no way. Wow. I'm gonna have to clean this up. We gotta see if this is any good. Wow. That's some impressive fuckery right there. I tell you what. Move you over here. All right. Well, they're all pretty grody. It looks like this motor had a lot of carbon buildup in it for some reason. Look at that. Golly. This one. However, cylinder numero uno. Look at that. Wow. But with that being said, look at cylinder one. Obviously, it probably looks a lot worse on video, but I can't see any physical damage. That's impressive. Wow. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to clean this up. Probably get my brass wire brush and just like some brake parts cleaner and scrub her down. And we'll see what it looks like after that. I'm genuinely curious. Right, so, you know, got some brake parts cleaner out. Got my wire wheel out, or wire brush, not my wheel, because I couldn't find the wheel. And clean that up. You know, I would say this head is 110% usable. Probably in its current condition. I will not use it in its current condition. I'm going to do instead is I'm going to replace all the valves. Stock K20 valves are not expensive by any means. It's not a hard job to do, especially if you have the proper tools to do it. Yeah, I think you heard it here first, boys and girls, whoever's watching this. I think the S2000 is getting a K20, K24 Frankenstein set up. I see no reason why not to do it. I have everything here. And I think it will benefit greatly from that. So that's what we're going to do. Next motion would be I'm going to take this into work, run it through our parts washer, get it all cleaned up, have it looking pretty. I still have to tear apart the rest of the bottom end for the K20. If the crank survived, which it honestly probably did, I'm going to clean that up as well, and I'm just going to toss it on eBay. The block, I don't really know what I'm going to do with that. I don't think it's bad, but given the fact that obviously it had a piston go bye-bye, it probably is pretty scored up. I can't see anything right here. It just feels super smooth. Actually, I'll tell you what. Let me put the 19 mil back on here, and we'll turn it over. Is that the 19 mil that came out of it? Probably not. Definitely not. Oh yeah, I left it with the crank pulley. 19 mil. Yeah, let's inspect this cylinder wall. Actually, I'm just curious to see how bad it is, or if it's bad at all. Obviously, this isn't a good motor, but if the cylinder walls look all right, it's a repairable motor, which somebody would love to have. So yeah, let's do that. Pop the 3/4 on the impact real quick. All right, give her a little zippy zip. Cool. There's that. All right. Oh, hey, look. I was looking for you earlier. Thank you. Pop you on here. All right. Let's see if I can get it to turn. I'm going to have to put you guys down here for a second. Sorry, not the best view, but got to work here. Oh, my God. Okay. Can I go the other way? I can. Well, that ain't good. I don't think the crank's good. So, oh, I see. So watch this. Turns. That ain't turning though. And I can see the wrist pin and the top of the rod down there. So let's try and get this chunk of piston out here. Wow. That is impressive. Let's see if I can turn the light on here. And surprisingly, oh, nope, there's one little gorge right there. Ah, man, that sucks. That's the only honest bad spot. The rod's still attached. No, it's not. That crank's gone, 100%. Crank is no good. Alright, well, at least we know. This entire bottom end is now a paperweight. There's things I'm going to pull off of it. If the main bolts are the same, I'm going to pull those out because I lost the main bolts to the 24. But other than that, yeah, somebody can make a table out of it, I guess. Impressive fuckery here. Man, look at that. Wow. Well, I answered the question. What was wrong with this bottom end? If I had to guess, given how it went, see, I think personally what happened is maybe the rod bolt stretched and let go. Piston came up, smacked valves, and yeah, that was it. So, very really much we can do with this bottom end. I'm going to use it for parts, or bolts, not even necessarily parts. I might be able to get away with selling 3 of the rods, I guess. I don't know. Somebody needs rods, some out, and maybe they only have 2 good ones, and they want 2 more good ones, and there you go. And I can't think of anything else outside of the main bolts that I need. So, yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I'm glad that you guys came along with me. This one's a little bit different, obviously. This is more geared towards the S2000. I know we've been doing a lot of Integra stuff lately, but that's just because the Integra runs and it's fun to drive. But I've been wanting to get on the S2000. So far, I have gotten my adapter plate for the transmission, computer, wiring harness, running RSX Type S wiring harness, motor mounts I've got. I need to get clutch and flywheel still. That's probably the last big expense for getting the K series into the car. Just because the clutch or the flywheel itself is about $600. And what else do I need? Odds and ends, coolant necks for the back of the head and stuff, and relocation kits and things like that. So all said and done, I'm probably still about, I need the jumper harness for the computer. All said and done, I'm probably about a good $1,200 away from having the motor in the car. And that's not even it running, just having the motor in the car. That's the price that you pay for dealing with a car that is at the peak of enthusiast vehicles, especially for Hondas. Everything's just more expensive. But it'll be worth it in the long run. Also, some other things coming after the motor, after it's running and motors in the car and everything. We do our little celebration of it running or whatever. There's going to be a lot. When I say a lot, I mean a lot of suspension, brakes, which we're just going to keep the stock brake system. We're just, pads and rotors, things like that. The suspension is what I'm most scared of. Reason being is because this car sat for so long and it does have rust. So there's going to be some things I fight with. It took me, I shit you not, with fighting with everything. Some things had to be cut out. Some things had to be heated up to an almost melting point on the Integra. Probably took me a good week to replace every single bushing in that car. When I say every single one, I mean every single one. From the front all the way to the back. All of them are polyurethane. Shout out to Energy Suspension. Everything. In that car, ride quality is great. Everything's tight. Nothing feels loose. And that's what I want for this S2000. Because of what it is, these cars are notorious for handling very well. And I don't want to have just, it runs. I want it to, it runs, it drives really well, it's super comfortable, and it looks good. So after we do the suspension stuff, the only other thing we're going to do is a lot of cosmetics. I need a windshield. Fenders are beat up. I got an idea what I'm going to do for that. Rear quarter panels have some rust because, like I said, this is a Midwest car and it sat for a long time outside. I have an idea what I'm going to do for that, actually. I was thinking stock body lines, but I'm already committed so much into this car that I think we're going to go full. We're going to go full wide body. Really only because, yes, it's an S2000, but it's not a clean example of an S2000. So I think this is a very good starting point for slightly wide S2000. I'm not talking like 60 mil over or anything. I'm thinking maybe 20 with a good aggressive offset wheel and a nice tire underneath it with the K20, K24 setup. Hopefully we can get, if I can get like 250 wheel out the car, I'd be happy. I don't know if that's doable with the Frankenstein setup. I'll have to do some more research into them, but I'd be happy with it. So other than that, I think with the motor, I'm still looking for an RSX oil pump and whatnot. I don't want to buy a aftermarket unit because of all the issues people have had with them. So I've been waiting. One day RSX is going to hit the yard, the junkyard, mind you, and it's going to have a A3 or I think even just a basic K20, which is that the A3 or is that the A2? I don't know. Whatever non-dual VTEC K20, the RSX base models have. I think their oil pump and gear and timing stuff will work on the K24 the exact same way. I'll have to do some more research into it. Maybe if I just cross-reference part numbers actually through the Honda website, that'll give me everything I need to know. So, yeah, that's going to be it here. Thanks for watching, guys. Once again, shout out to all you guys who like and comment and subscribe. I think what I'm going to start doing is after this video drops, I'm going to start doing shout outs at the end of my videos and just to show appreciation. And yeah, so that's going to be it. I'm happy with the progress we made. Whopping, I think this in total, I don't know how long the video is, but I think this in total took a little less than an hour. And I'm glad that I finally know what's wrong with this K20 because, like I said, it's just been, I mean, I haven't said it, but it's just been sitting in the side of my garage forever. So, yeah, I'm done. Shout out to you guys. Have a great weekend. Peace.